Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man, Rich George Page, coming to you live on YouTube. Where last night was the UFC, Bellator 254, and the main event was the Ilima-Mei MacFarlane versus Julia Velasquez. Yeah, my Spanish is not good, so I said Julia. Anyway, this was for the Bellator Women's 125 title. And, you know, from the outcome of the fight, it was kind of slow, at the start of it. But, Velasquez and Julia was putting up pretty much a good fight. And Ilima-Mei MacFarlane was doing all right. We at CS Combat Sports, we're thinking like a real kind of dragged out, slobber knocker. But, Ilima-Mei MacFarlane's not that great of a striker. She's more of a wrestler. But anyway, it was kind of back and forth for a good while, but pretty much you might as well say from what I saw of it, Julia, she won most of the rounds. There was a couple of times when she, Ilima-Mei took her down, and at one point, there was a part where it almost I think looked like Julia might have hit her on the ground, but I think they shaked it off. And and these ladies were going back and forth. This was a pretty good fight. There's one point Ilima-Mei was trying to get grab her by the leg, but and just Julia just circled her off. But it was just really a back and forth war. And just Julia was bringing better striking and everything else, and Ilima-Mei was just falling back on her wrestling a bit. One point it was on the ground, and I think Ilima-Mei was trying to do a triangle, but she couldn't get past Julia's knees. And then, you start noticing that Ilima-Mei was really starting to bleed. And this was around about, towards the third round, and she was bleeding from the side of her eye right there and from around her mouth and her nose. And then it was about the end of the fourth, and just Julia came with this flying knee. And I don't know how Ilima-Mei was still standing after that. I mean, like they like to say, she had a beard on her. She took that knee. I mean, this is another angle for him. I mean, damn. I mean, she should have been out, but like I said, those Hawaiians are tough, like those Samoans. They're pretty much about the same ilk around Hawaiians and Samoans. But like I said, towards the end of the match, they were back on the ground. And just Ilima-Mei was trying her best to use her ground game, but I think Julia put up a good defense. But anyway, the match ended, and we were all on like pins and needles to see the encore. The big question was we were worried that it was going to be a robbery because even though in our eyes we saw that Julia was winning. But there's a good chance because, Ilima-Mei is the champion and everybody's, is going to go that way. But the outcome was Julia won. And, if you notice a little tattoo on her left inner arm, that's her brother. And her brother passed away some time ago. And she was thanking him and praying to him and appreciate that, she felt like he was there for her. And this is a fight that's been a long time coming. A lot of us, like me, were thinking it was going to be like a real blowout, but it was like, we just went the distance. You got to think about this. A lot of you who don't really pay attention to women MMA or just have this ideology of it. Fact is, women don't have the strength to do a lot of knockouts. Even at 125, which is a light flyweight division, y'all can see a lot of knockouts. Even though like some of her fights, like I saw a fight that Julia won. When she fought against Christina Williams. She really battered her. But in this fight, I think Ilima-Mei MacFarlane was pretty much a superior wrestler and fighter, and she didn't let this go to like almost a blowout. So now Ilima-Mei MacFarlane. So now Julia Velasquez is the new Bellator 125 champion. So who's next? We'll tell you who's next. Miss Dynamite Denise Killhouse. Like my man Coach, he just was while we were doing the live stream last night, he called her and she kind of laughed about it. She knew if it came down to if Ilima-Mei had won, she can beat Ilima-Mei. And and now that Julia's a champion, I think more likely she can beat Julia. There's like I said, there's some holes in her defense. Julia kind of fights almost like Jessica Andrade. Yes, she knows that she's Brazilian, but she fights kind of flat-footed. She don't know how to cut off the ring. She was following Ilima-Mei MacFarlane most of the fight. And then there was so many things where there was times where if she really let her hands go, she could have ended the fight early. It just because she already had Lee Malay bleeding all over the place. Because at one point she had her and Lee Malay was against the fence, and let get the cage, and she was bleeding all over Lee Malay, and Lee Malay just hitting her. That one round she won was the fourth round, but the other four rounds was all Velasquez. But like I said, Miss Dynamite, I think her Muay Thai experience, she's a better striker. I think she can really probably give Julia Vasquez some real problems. And this is from, I think this is opponent. One of her last opponents. I think that was Vita Agriaga. Was it not? Was it Vita or somebody else? I forget this girl's name. But you can see how she just, boom. I mean, this is like it looked like she got the taste out of her mouth. So I think this is probably what's going to happen. We're going to probably see Velasquez versus Killhost maybe around about, see, not too soon. You got to give the fighter time to recover. So I say maybe about late March, early April. That's a possible, championship fight because, that's the way I'm going to see it. So anyway, but what's the future for Ilima-Mei MacFarlane? Well, we don't really know. I mean, she has to go back down the rankings. Maybe talk of a rematch, but I don't really see a rematch. What's the point? Because this girl, if you get a second fight with her, she's gonna do you dirty. I don't think you got a chance. But but like I said, she's gonna back down the rankings. She probably fight somebody like see, I don't know who's. I don't know all the women on the Bellator. Maybe Beck Rollins. She's friends with Liz Carmouche. I don't think she probably fight Liz Carmouche. Or somebody else. There's a couple other fighters. Maybe get a warm up fight with Heather Hardy or somebody like that. And and you already gave Christina Williams because she got cut off. Or maybe a rematch with Laura. Something like that. Just a fight to fight each other. And then plus, I get tired of this dude here. This dude here, if you ever watch any of Lee MacFarlane's weigh-ins, he's always photobombing. He's doing I'm tired of this dude. Maybe now that Lee Malay is no longer the champion, we won't see this dude anymore. I'm the man all the way at George Page. Don't subscribe. I'm out.